So, good morning, Lucy. How are you?
I'm fine, very fine. Thank you, Fatima. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. It's nice to have you here. It's been a while. It's been a while we didn't have an interview in Talk to Connect, but it was Ramadan. I hope everybody had a beautiful Ramadan and a happy Eid. And it's always when I have people coming here, for me, it's always a blessing. So whoever is joining us today, I want to welcome you. I want to welcome you. I want to thank you for joining us today. And as always, what we do in Talk to Connect is we try to empower someone. We try to allow people to see that everybody has a story, and your story doesn't define you, but your story can make you become a better person. Your story can make you become the way you tell your story is how you make your future. So today I have a very beautiful and a very young lady who I met on Facebook. And when I started chatting to her, I listened to her story and I was so empowered. For one thing, she has a lot of things that have happened in life, but she decided to change that story to something very powerful. Her story led her to empower other young girls in a very powerful way, and that inspired me a lot. I think we all find or look for a way to inspire others, and empowering doesn't always mean we always have to give money, but sometimes it can be, sometimes your support to empower someone to grow and do something good to others is a way of changing and empowering others. So Lucy has a very powerful initiative that she's doing. And when I was listening to her story, I realized that all of us have gone through something in life, but what you decide to do about it and how you take that challenge in your life is what really makes a difference. So Lucy, I'm so proud to be having you today, and I am really, really inspired by your journey, by your story, and what you're doing. So I want to welcome you. I want you to introduce yourself and take us through that journey before you start telling us about your initiative, about what you're doing. I just want you to take us back and tell us a little bit about who's Lucy and what challenges you faced in life. And then we can talk about whatever you're doing right now. So I want to welcome you, and I want to really thank you for taking your time to be here today.
Fatima, thank you so much for having me. I'm really humbled. I met you on Facebook. That was I think the last 2 months we have been talking.
Yeah.
And when you told me that you would empower me so that I can empower other girls, I was so excited. I am very excited. And I'm grateful for what you're doing. May God bless you in a big way. Now, this girl you're talking to this morning, she's called Lucy Kadure Gichengi. I grew up in Meru, a village called Kadelo. I was born in 1982, and my environment, my conditions were not conducive, but I thank God for the far I am. I was brought up by a single mother. I'm the last born. I'm from a family of 5. We are 5 of us. And being the last born, I remember I saw my mom very old, as in she was looking like my grandma. The time I was like 7 years. So my mom is old. And some of the things I missed in life. And when I was growing up, I remember going without shoes for like, I wore my first shoe in class 7. Inner pants, inner clothes. That was a luxury to me. So this girl, again, beat all the horns. I studied my primary in Kadelo Primary School, just a few minutes from my home. I was not sure, or I was not aware of what happened to my dad. I grew up without knowing who my dad was. So the late stepfather died in 1973, and I was born in 1982. So I grew up wanting to know, who is this girl? Who is she? because at some point I was not able to understand myself. When I was in class 6, I could see girls tying their sweaters around the waist. So when I got to class 7, I started getting my periods. I had no one to ask me what is happening. And that's the time I said to myself, Lucy, when you grow up, you need to do something to these girls in the village. Girls who don't have anyone to ask them if they have their periods, what do they use. I could see girls using horned clothes, falling down boys' toes, laughing at them, singing even songs after them. And I was like, this girl will do something when she grows up. So I grew up. Joining Form 1 was again a miracle to me, because I remember going to the head teacher, telling him kindly do something, because I don't see myself joining high school and I must go to school because I have a dream that I must achieve it. I remember he joined me. We went to my brother, that is my late brother. I lost him in 2016. And that 2016, I felt like my dreams got shattered. But again, I thank God. This girl never loses hope. I try as much as I can not to lose hope, not to focus on the negativity that is happening around me. And I remember at some point, that was now again back in class 6, I had no clothes. My school uniform were my Sunday best. But I thank God again, somebody came in and they gave me old school uniforms for his children. And again, they hand purchased all over, but they were better off than mine. So again, I continued in class 8. I remember when sitting for the exams, there was this tuition fee we used to pay over the holidays. I could not get 400 shillings. And my mom was like, I think you get married instead of going through this. And out of the 5 children, I can say that I am the only one who managed to go to high school, who managed not to drop in primary school, because my sisters and my brother got up to class 7. So in high school, there were no school fees. So again, I didn't sleep over it. I went to the village chairman and I told him, now, look here, I don't have school fees. And I've been sent home. What do I do? Could I like have an arambe or something for men, for the villagers to come in and help me? And he told me, no, there is an NGO called Plan International. You can come and try and apply. So I went again. I told them my story. I told them where I come from. They knew my mom. And they came in a big way. So again, they helped me. And I was able now to complete my high school without issues, without lacking school fees. But again, in Form 2, something happened, very major. My brother brought a man and he told me, I want you to get married because now where things are getting out of hand. So at some point, I was like, no, this girl cannot get married. She has a dream she has to achieve. So I told my brother, no, you are missing it. I cannot get married. And I am not ready to drop out of school. So I told that man off. And the next time you come here, things will not be as you see them. So they started talking in the village and saying, now this girl doesn't want this, she doesn't want this, and we can't see her going far. So again, I reminded this girl, no, Lucy, you see, you have to continue. Soldier on. Your God is with you. You don't need anything else on this earth. You need people who can understand you. You need to talk to people. Tell them what is happening. So I don't hide what I'm going through. Even now, I'm very straight. If I'm going through something, I share it. So I managed to complete Form 2. In Form 3, again, something major happened. I was about to lose it. And I was told that now here we circumcise girls. You have to go through FGM. And I was like, oh my God, why is this girl going through all this? So again, I managed to jump that. And in Form 4, I lost my uncle, who again was my supporting system. And I said, oh my God, now I'm not going to join college. But again, when the time came for me to join college, I remember I talked to my brother and I told him, look, I've managed to go through primary education, through high school. What is so hard for me to join college? Kindly pay for me. Let me just take me to any. I'll appreciate. And my God came in a big way again. And I joined college. In fact, immediately after I completed my high school, I managed to get a C+ in my fourth form. And I am very grateful. So when I completed or cleared my college, I was very lucky. I stayed without a job for 1 year. I was staying with my auntie. Sorry, if she is listening to this, it's unfortunate that I will have to share it. And during that year, I had no job. I was thrown out of the house with nothing, with no money. And I remember staying on the road for almost 5 hours. And at some point, I was like, Lucy, might you become a chokora after your college? I stayed there for almost a whole day. I remember a lady I was with in church. I went to her house and I told her, look, I've been thrown out of the house. I know no one in Nairobi. I have no relative that I know. Because when I was born out of, that is a story I think I will share towards the end of this video. And I don't know my relatives. Many of them, they don't know me. I don't know them. I've never been introduced to them. Even my paternal and my closest, the people I can call cousins and sisters, some of them don't know me. So she listened to me and she was like, no, my house is full, but I can help you. How do you want me to come in? And I told her I can look for like a small house, even if it's a iron sheet or whichever kind of a house. At least for some time, I look for a job. She helped me. She really didn't know me. She comes from a different community. I come from a different community, but she came in and helped me. That's how I started life in Nairobi with nothing. I remember I slept on the floor for 5 months without a bed, without bed sheets, without anything. When on my periods, I used to sit in the house. So I have tested it after primary school. And I can say again, I used to see big women in the market with the clothes that are dirty on the backside, and I was like, oh my God, even these big women can go through this. So I remembered, or I told myself, no, what you're going through is what others go through, and I thank God for the father I am. So after that time, I got a job miraculously. That's what I can say. And I am very grateful to Mr. Anthony Kiogora. He took me in without experience. I was looking bad. I was looking dirty. He took me in. And I remember he gave me some money and he told me, you can have this and use. So when I shared my story with the wife again, wife to Mr. Kiogora, she was like, oh, Lucy, you need to do a book. Your story is, wow, it is amazing, but you've been through so much. Now, that's the time I was looking for my father. Because after I got the job, they told me, no, we need to pay you to do a degree because we need you here. You're very hardworking. We need your services. So what you do, go look for a university. We pay for you school fees. You join. And that's how I managed to go to University of Nairobi with their courtesy. I'm very grateful to them. May God bless them in a mighty way. I completed my university last year. And during that time, I was joining the university. That's the time now I started looking for the death certificate of my dad. The man I knew was my father. That was in 2011. And I remember I broke down. Because when I got the death certificate to take it to HELP is the loan. It gives loans to students here in Kenya. And they told me, if you are an orphan, you can bring the death certificate of your dad. We see what we can do for you. So I told my brother, now, look here, I need help. Give me the death certificate of my father. So because they knew it was not my father, they were like, we don't have that document you are looking for. And I remember I cried so hard. I went home And they were like, no, we can't give you that document you are looking for. It is unfortunate. So I pushed them. I forced them to give me the document. And when I got the document, I saw the man died in 1973. It broke my heart. I cried so hard. And I was like, now, can you like tell me who my father is? Because what I've been through is really, I don't deserve this. I deserve better. And I remember they told me, no, you cannot go anywhere with this document. So I came back to Nairobi, but I wanted to commit suicide. And I remember I talked to the chief as I was coming back to Nairobi, and he told me, no, don't die, just come back. I'll help you to know who your biological father is. So again, after getting to Nairobi, the following morning I went back. By that time, Mr. Kiogora, who was my boss, was not aware where I was. I had switched off my phone. I was not talking to anyone. And I was like, no, until I get to know who this man is, I will not settle down. Even that job, I may resign and stop working and kill myself, because that's the only thing I wanted at that point. When I was going back home, I was in a matatu, and there was gospel music that was playing at the background. And I heard a song that reminded me of my dream. And I said, no, Lucy, you cannot kill yourself. You have come from so far. So I went back home. The chief called my brother and he told him, look, this girl wants to know her identity. Why can't you just tell her? So at some point, we talked. And I heard my brother mention who my dad was. Hair broke loose, sorry. And I remember I snatched the phone he was using, because it was my phone, and I ran away. I ran like, I didn't know I could run like that. I ran. I was not able to face the reality, because now the man who was my biological dad turned out to be my uncle. The uncle I knew, the siblings, I knew them as my cousins. Now they have turned out from nowhere to be my sisters and my brothers. And I was like, no, I must die. I cannot face this. I came back to Nairobi the same minute. I ran and I went to the stage, boarded a matatu, and I traveled back to Nairobi. That same morning, I got to the house at around midnight. I don't know what happened on the road. I can't remember what happened, but I got in the house at around midnight. I locked myself inside, and I remembered I had some poison for rats. I had some rats in the house. So I remember, hey, and by the way, I had a sachet. I tried to look for it. I could not get it. I wanted to take it and I sleep, but it never happened. Why? Because I have a dream that I promised myself that one day I'll stand in and share my story and help the girls in the same shoes that like mine. Girls who could not have somebody, or who don't have anyone to ask them how they are doing, to ask them whether they have done their homework, to ask them whether they have the stationaries to use in school, whether they have school fees, whether they have anything they need in school. And after 3 days, I slept in that house without eating, without water, without anything for 3 days. And the fourth day, I heard a voice telling me, Lucy, you can't lose hope. There are other girls in the village, in this country, who are suffering. They have no one they can lean on. They have no one they can talk to. You need to stand out and talk to these girls. Don't commit suicide. They need you. And I remembered my sisters don't understand me to date. I cannot sit down with one of my sisters. I talk to them. They don't understand me. They feel like I'm too hyper. I don't know. So when I was about to clear my campus, remember I was also working. The small process I used to get, I was being paid 7,500. That was my salary, but I couldn't get 4,000. Go do a project, buy uniforms for the girls. I couldn't go buy sanitary towels for the girls. And when I cleared my campus. Not cleared. When I was in my second year, I remember and I told another lady, Katrina Mururu, wherever you are, I'm humbled. And she told me, Lucy, instead of giving out the disposables, why can't you look for a long-lasting solution? And that's the time I started doing my own research. It was slow, but I managed. And I said, instead of giving out the disposables, why can't I get something that a girl in the interior of this country, in that rural village that no one goes there, if I can give them something that can take them for like a year, 2 years, 3 years, I will be very excited. So I did my research. That was in 2013. And I tried it. After completing my research, I tried it. It worked very well. And I went to Raila Educational Complex Primary School. That is in Kibera. That was my first project I did with my salary. That is 7,500. I never did anything with that salary. But I remember I bought the disposables. And then I did some of the reusables. I was fearing because I didn't know that people like it. It was the first time I handled of the reusable sanitary towels, but the girls liked it. And I said, no, let me do something better. So again, I went to Uganda, that is Afripans, and I told them, now, these are girls who wanted to help other girls in the village, and I want to know what technology you're using or which materials you're using. And back in Kenya, I'll come back and do something. And they were like, we cannot help you as we are in business. So I bought a pack, and that pack is what I used now to do good reusable sanitary towels. And to date, I'm proud that I've been able to do around almost 10 projects. I don't have donors, I don't have supporters, but I have few friends who support me. And where I am, I thank God. I thank people who have stood by my side. Some felt like I was abandoned to them, but they have stood by my side. And where I am, I say it is God. And it is also the efforts of my friends who came in for me. And I have already registered the Symbio, of which I want to do it as an NGO, so that I can also go to other African countries, because I know what we are facing here in Kenya. It is also being faced in Uganda, in Burundi, and the other African countries. And I know one day I will stand up and say, the far I have come, it is God, it is the effort of others who see the efforts of what I am doing, and we help these girls. It is not easy to sit down in a hole for 5 days because you have got your monthly periods and you have got no one to help you. Somebody cannot afford 50 shillings to buy the disposable sanitary towels. And I feel like if somebody comes in and gives the disposables, you have not helped these girls. Why? Because if you give them this month, next month you are not there to give them. And again, I've realized here in the country, especially in Kenya, not many organizations that go to the interior of this country. And that's what I want to concentrate with, not in Nairobi, not in slums, because majority of the organizations concentrate with the slums and the people around them, probably in Nairobi. But I remember there is that girl in my village who needs my help. And I am very grateful, Fatima, for this moment that you have with me here to share my story. And I know out of this story, it will help other girls. I have a heart for teenagers. I normally say, if I didn't commit suicide that time, I will not let another girl commit suicide. If I sat in a house for 3 days because I could not afford sanitary towels after my college, how many girls in this country are not able to buy the disposable, irrespective of whether they are educated or not? So I am humbled, very grateful. You can ask me questions. I hope I will answer them with my knowledge. And again, once again, I am humbled.
Thank you.
That is the girl you're talking to.
Wow. Thank you so much, Lucy. That is quite a story. I think I'm looking at you and I'm admiring your courage, and I'm admiring your faith. So before we continue, let me just say thank you to Naomi. Naomi saying hi and saying, how are you doing? We're doing fine. I hope you're doing well, Naomi. Thank you for joining us. So I'm listening to your story and I'm really touched. And your story is really powerful. And I think there's a lot, when I'm saying a lot of girls who have gone through, or they're going through what you went through, and you standing out with all these challenges to help them. It's really inspiring. But I want to just understand, just for the sake of someone who's out there, who's going through the same journey, I want you to just tell me, what was the one thing you will say that kept you going? You know, in everything that you go on in life, we go through challenges, but there's one thing that keeps you believing that I'm going to make it. This is what defines me. Other than just having the point that I want to help girls, what was your vision in your life? Because I think for me, for everything that I went through in life, I had this belief that I needed to be something better than what is happening in my life. I had this vision that I just need to change, to be better, and for me, what was pushing me, to be honest, was I wanted, more than changing my life, was for me to see my mom having a better life, because I know she was the one person who pushed me to become the woman that I was. So for everything that I do, for everything that I was doing in my life, was my drive came from, I want to make my mom have a better life, that she will never struggle again, that whatever will happen, as long as I grow, I'll give my mom the best in life. And I think that was my drive coming from me making sure that I want my mom never to feel that she has to struggle again in life. And whatever I went through, I was just putting my life that this is a challenge, and I'm going to do it because I don't want anybody else to make my mom feel insignificant. So what was the one thing you will say, it was just like you would drive, no matter what was happening, was just in your head that was putting you there, that I'm going to do it no matter what happens?
Thank you so much for such a question. I will go back to class 6 when I could see boys shouting at girls because they have not defined their skirts and their dresses. And when I promised myself that when I grow up, I want to go back to the community and help these girls, I can say that is what has been pushing me. And I said, no, I need to do something for the girl child, because I've been through a lot, and that dream has been in my mind ever since. I remember the day, I remember the time. I was very young, but I remember everything that is transpired when I said, no, girl, you need to do something. You need to do something to these girls. I have grown up there. I know no one is bothered of what you go through. Whether you have your periods or you don't have, no one to talk to you. Whether you are educated, you have educated parents or not, you face the same thing in the village back there. And I was like, no, I need to do something. Even if I don't have money, I can share my story. I can share my story. And to be sincere, that's what has been pushing me. Not to make my mom feel good, nothing like that. Not even to make myself feel good, but I want to make that girl who is going through what I've been through, to make her feel she's also somebody in the village, she's somebody in this country, she's somebody that God created and was proud about. And no one is born to go through this kind of challenges that we go through. But I normally say again, if you are going through a challenge, don't take it like it is not it's a curse or something. Take it positive and know that the Bible tells me that nothing happens without a reason. Everything worketh together for good to those who love God. And that verse, I normally, it's like I decided every time I face a challenge, I remember, Lucy, no, whatever you face, there is a reason. So I normally try, if I go through a challenge today, when I'm alone, I normally ask myself, why did I go through this? What a lesson, what is it teaching me? And can I be able to teach another girl? Because I'm telling myself, Lucy, you don't need so much money. All you need is to make a girl smile. And that is my slogan. I want to make another girl smile. I didn't have anyone to make me smile when I was growing up. But I was a very happy girl either way. Why? Because I wanted to achieve this dream. And I'm hoping and I believe one day, with your help and your support, and with the support of my other friends, I'm going to touch lives in this country and beyond, because of course I have to start home. And my dream is to see, I have an initiative called EcoPant Africa. I do reusable sanitary towels. And the girls have touched their lives so far. They are very happy. And when I go to these events and they tell me, Lucy, we are very happy. We are so happy. And I see them smiling. It really satisfies me. It gives me that satisfaction that I really need to go through another day. Thank you.
So that's powerful. And I believe that when we create change, we only create change when we start helping others. And this is a very powerful message that I'm getting from you. Whatever you get from your story and you try to change, it's not only to change yourself, but you have to change others. When you start changing others, it empowers you to grow more. So you talk so much about faith. And you talk so much about faith in God and faith in you, and how having faith in yourself really made you become the woman that you are right now. And I know that there's a lot of young women who opt to do bad things out there, or give up in life, or just decide to lose hope and just sit at home. So what would you advise them towards your faith, and how much faith helped you to become or model you to the woman that you are right now? Because for me, I think faith is to believe in the unseen. When you believe in something that you don't know how it's going to happen, but I have the faith that it's going to happen for me, and it drives you to do things that you never imagined you can do. So how much could you say your faith helped you to model yourself to be who you are? And what would you advise other young girls who are feeling lost, confused, lonely, who not only, because we're going through different challenges. Some don't have parents, some are being molested, some are being homeless. And there's so many things that are happening out there, especially in Africa, to young women, and they're being exposed to a lot of things. So having a girl like you talking about her journey and inspiring them, it's very powerful. And one of the things that you've continuously mentioned is about faith. So what would you advise a young girl who's going through all of this about faith?
My advice to young girls, to young women like me, is to have faith in God. He has never failed us. The Bible says that he has never forsaken the righteous. And in fact, I can say, this God, I have served him from the time I was in Sunday school to now. He has never left me. He has never forsaken me. And I call myself a woman of faith, because if it were not for God, I don't know where I could be, especially that time I had no one to talk to. A time I didn't know how to express myself, but I normally look back and I say, this God, my creator, he really took me in like his own. Again, I go back to the Bible, and the same Bible tells me in Exodus 22, the Bible says that he is a father to the fatherless. And I took those verses that I felt like they are talking to me directly. And I can tell them to hang on there, not to lose hope, not to look at the things negatively that are happening to them and hone them. No, they have to let go and know that there is God. It will depend with their faith, because there are those people who believe in, like you are a Muslim. I don't know whether you go my way, but at the end of the day, all of us, we have the same creator, and we say, if you are trusting God and you're telling God this, you see, it is believing the unseen, the unknown. So you have to say, if you leave it to God, let God fight it for you. That's me. And I have seen this God. So mine is to tell them to hang on there, to call their God, and he will come in for them. He is faithful. So I'm born again Christian. And everything I talk about this God, because if it were not for him, this girl you are speaking to today probably could not be here to share a story. Yes.
Thank you so much, Lucy. And that's very powerful. I think when you have faith, you believe. And the most powerful thing that I'm hearing from Lucy's story today is that whatever you want to do in life is you've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your calling. And I think that's why Lucy is sitting with us today. Have faith and a belief in what she wanted to do in life is what made a difference. It's easy for you to give up. It's easy for you to say, oh, things are bad in my life. But when you have faith in God, faith in yourself, faith in what you're doing, it creates this powerful belief where you think beyond the possible. We are always thinking things are impossible. And I admire your journey so much, because I know there's a lot of people, me being one of them, at some point feeling useless because of what is happening in life. But when you have that faith that everything is going to work and you believe, it's really, really, really powerful. So, but when we talk about faith and we talk about belief, but I think one thing that is really important also in life is taking action, where you have to put yourself to make that dream come true. So I listened to you saying you went to this person to help you, and you put yourself to your uncle and asked for help wherever you felt that you were stuck. So what would you advise to young people or young ladies or a young man? Because I think most of them feel shy to be vulnerable. To be vulnerable to talk about what you're going through, to be vulnerable to ask for help, to be vulnerable to say, right now I'm feeling like I'm depressed and I feel like I want to commit suicide, or I want somebody to help me to have school fees. So what would you say how would you advise other young girls or young boys to come out of that box of feeling ashamed? Because I think we are all conditioned to feel when you're vulnerable, you become weak. But from your story, what I'm listening is you allowed yourself to feel weak so that you could get help. So what advice would you say, or how would you say that being vulnerable helped you to reach where you are right now?
What I can say is I thank God for the characters that He has given me. I don't fear. And another thing that really stands out in me is I'm a very straightforward person, and I take lies like I'm going against the will of God. So again, some of the things that people do or the young people do, I don't. Most of the time, I used to change myself, and I couldn't cry alone. So again, I am very choosy with the people I call friends. I'm very choosy. I don't just walk out with anyone. And it is very hard for me to copy what others are doing. I walk like Lucy. I do things like Lucy. And if I face a challenge, I normally look at the people, probably like if I go to Facebook and I post something, I will see people who will respond. And the way that they respond, I go to their inbox and I tell them, look, don't you think you can come in, we do MBCD to these people who are facing MBCD? And if I see like they have the same dream with me, we can go out there and speak to people, encourage them. So what I can tell them is, don't fear to tell what you're going through. Somebody out there may come in and help you. Somebody out there may listen to you and say, no, let me do something. Like yesterday, there is a story I saw on Facebook. A boy who did his KCP last year walked to the school. He was admitted. He had no school fees, but the grandmother gave him a Bible, and he went to school with. That was yesterday. I saw it today morning, and somebody came in for him. That is Honorable Gladys Wanga, and she paid school fees for 4 years. That's what we are supposed to do. If you want to get education, don't shy off. Speak out. Walk to that school. Use what you have. You don't need to sit there and cry, or you kill yourself because you cannot afford school fees. No, do something that is very positive. And I believe somebody out there will see your actions and come in and help you. That's what I can tell them.
Thank you so much, Lucy. That's really powerful. And there's no shame in asking for help in any situation that you're in. There's no shame in asking for help. Being vulnerable is a way of finding help. So as Lucy said, if you want help, you have to go out and ask for it. And I think we are conditioned in life to feel ashamed to tell people our problems. Sometimes when you say your problems, you get a solution rather than doing something that is not it's going to harm yourself, or it's going to make you get in an even worse situation. And I like the fact that you said you choose the people who you work with, especially peer groups. I think a lot of young people look for advice to the wrong people, to your friends, and they encourage you and make you do things that are not proper. So as Lucy said, find someone who is going to give you a proper advice, who's going to help you to change your life. So Lucy, now I want to go to your initiative, because your initiative really touched it really touched me, because I know there's different ways of empowering people. And one way of empowering people is creating awareness, which is something that it's very powerful, knowledge, awareness of people to know what is going on. So you told me that you've been helping girls around Kenya, and you've done a lot of empowering for young girls to create the reusable sanitary towels. So if you can tell people a little bit about this, because I know you're having a project that is coming in July where you need people to empower you. You want to go and empower girls in the very remote areas where marginalized areas in Kenya where people are not reaching. So can you tell us a little bit about your initiative now and what you're doing with the project of helping of creating reusable sanitary towels?
Okay, what I am doing currently, I have a symbio called EcoPant Africa.
Okay.
I have a Facebook page, and I'm the founder. And I am very proud of where I am right now, because I started very far. And the research I've done, I believe it is up to the standard. And if I go to like anywhere in these in the remote areas, these girls are really appreciating, because I saw some people saying, oh, they cannot wash, they don't want to see blood, blah, blah. But what I normally tell myself, that is this girl in the remote or in the rural Kenya who cannot afford the 50 shillings to buy the disposable. They are really grateful when they get these reusable that can take them for 3 years. So what I am planning to do in July, I want to go to Ola. Ola is in Tana River County. And the girls there, when I went to do my research, I met them. I have even shared photos on my page. They were telling me the culture itself makes them not access the sanitary towels they need. And what they do is they make holes and they sit there a whole day without taking a shower for the 5 days. And it really broke my heart. And I said, in the same country where people can come in and do something for these girls in this interior or marginalized areas, we are here in Nairobi and we don't know what is happening around. So I sent and I told this girl here, Lucy, look, you don't need to concentrate with Nairobi. Do something for this girl that you promised you'll do something when you grow up. So my initiative is not to concentrate with the slums around here, because I know majority of the organizations and the people go to slums, especially Kibera. There is also Kiambu around here. There is no one whom I have heard going to Marigat. I also went to Marigat in 2014, and the same thing is happening there. People using countdown in the same country where people are saying that it is a growing country and people cannot afford sanitary towels that is 45 shillings here in the country. So what I am doing is I need support to go to Ola. If I can touch like 300, 400 the lives of girls, I'll be very excited. It will really satisfy me. And at the moment, I don't know where I'm going to get the money, but I know I am going to Ola in July. I am yet to set the date. And girls there are in dire need of sanitary towels. They also need people to mentor them, because what those girls are going through is almost the same of what I went through, going through FGM. Some don't get married early, and seriously, I need to do something. If at all my dream has to go through, or I have to achieve my dream, I need to do something for these girls in the interior of this country. And that is the support I'm asking for the people who feel they can do something for that girl. Even if it is one girl that one is touching, I'll be very excited. A pack goes for 550 shillings. It has got 5 pants and 2 panties and a bar soap. I'll be very excited if I can get well-wishers to stand with me, to support me. We go and touch lives in Hola. We can, after the event, we can share the videos, and I know they will also feel they have done.
Oh, yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, you lost. I could
Can you
not.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You were lost. It's okay.
Sorry. I was saying I'm going to Hola, and if I can get well-wishers to support me to touch the lives of these girls, I will appreciate. And when I'm going to, like, if I'm visiting a school, what I normally do, I get some few men who also talk to boys. They mentor them, and we also give them the inner clothes. And if it is like a football match, sometimes we do that. We do a football match for girls and boys, and we make fun and we enjoy the day together, because we need these boys also to know what is happening to the girls. They need their support. So wherever we go, we must talk to both of them, and we give goodies to both of them, so that they also support these girls by not shaming them. Yes.
That is really powerful. Thank you so much. So, what you want, what you're doing now, if I'm understanding you properly, you want to have an initiative where you are going to Hola, and you want to do it on July. Is that correct? So let me ask you before going to Hola, how many have you done this before, and have you helped other people from different kinds of districts, or have you just done it in Nairobi, in Kibera? How many of these events have you done so far?
The first one I started in Raila Educational Center in Kibera. That was my first project. After there, I did for Half-Year Plus. That is Half-Year Plus is under USAID. Those funds were taken to Embu. There is another one I did that went to Southern Sudan. It touched the 4,500 girls. I went to Marigat with the Faye and Gemma, and wherever she is, let her feel appreciated. We, with our support and our group, we went to Marigat. That was in 2014, January. And I remember after there, that's when the Inwandanda campaign that was done by Janet Mbogwa and the First Lady, Margaret Kenyatta, they went after we had gone with the reusables, and they gave the disposables, of which they have never gone back there. I'm also planning after the Hola event, I want to go back again and do something for the Marigat girls. It touches my heart because that's where I started, apart from the Nairobi one. And there is another one I am doing next week during my birthday, but that one I will do it on my own. I already have the kids with me. I am going to Siaya, a primary school called St. Mania, with the help of the Gifted Hands. And there is another one also coming up. Again, that one, I'm the one to do it. There are some girls I promised I will go back. That is in my village. I want to go back there in August. But again, that one I will do it on my own. But for Hola, I need people to come in because I need to do a big project there, because girls, they have not had any help from anyone or any support. And I need to do this one for me to start in the northern part of this country, because I understand there is no help that has gone there. And I also want to speak to them because culture again is becoming something else out there. Yes. So far, those are the projects I've been able to do. And there is also another one that took place in a village in Busia. That is a school called Sol Primary School. But that one, again, I had support from some other few groups, and it was very successful. We touched the lives of almost 150 girls. And again, in line is in Kajiado, Bisil. It is in Kajiado County with the help of another group. And also what I do, I do these reusables. Some other groups come for them. I normally accompany them so that at least I speak to the girls. And I share the same story I am sharing here, because I know there is that one girl who needs to hear this. And I remember my story also helped another boy not to commit suicide. I think that has really touched my heart to date. And I knew I am on the right track. I need to do more of this. And with the support of the people that are now coming in to support me, I'm really humbled. And I know I am going far. And this dream that I made in class 6, way back in 1995, is going to come to pass. Yes.
Thank you so much, Lucy. That is a lot you've done, and I'm so proud. And I think there's a lot of us should have the initiative of or the need to help others to create change. This is how we create change. Change comes when you come out and help someone else. When you serve someone else in a different way, we don't only create change for others, but you create change for yourself as a person. And we don't let go of that dream. I'm really touched with the fact that you are still holding on to that dream, because a lot of us, society, as you said, culture changes our mind. And we tend to forget that dream that we had as a child, that dream that was something that you wanted to become. So if you go to your inner child and find that dream that you created when you were a child, then you start doing the things that you love in life. So as whoever is watching today, I'll ask you to share this video, because I think empowering others is when we put a story out there and we let others know and create that awareness, is a way of helping others. And I think Lucy has a very big initiative to empower girls, especially in the sides of Hola. I know, because I come from Mombasa, and those areas, there's a lot of people who don't even think of going, because there's a place that's very remote. And I'm so honored that you thought of going to those places. And that's one of the reasons that when I was talking to you, I was like, this is a very powerful initiative that you're doing. So whoever is watching, please share this video, and we'll share the details of what of Lucy's initiative for July. Whoever wants to help, Lucy, please, if you will explain exactly how do you want people to be part of your initiative. How do you want them to support a girl? So like a package, or how do you want people to be there for you? I believe someone is out there. This is how we empower and support others to grow. And to empower a girl is to empower society, to empower a boy to change the society, because I think our youth are the future of our country, wherever we are. I want to just really appreciate you for what you're doing. It is a very powerful initiative. And for whoever who is listening, we have girls. If you have a girl, imagine that girl out there who doesn't have a pad so that she can go to school. I think this looks like a very small problem, but I grew up in an up-country place also. And I know what it feels when you go to school and you see other girls. When you go to school and you stay in your dress and people start making fun of you, it's not really an easy thing to deal with. So Lucy, this is a very powerful thing. The reason why I asked you to come here is I wanted people to know that you are doing something that is very, very important to the community in our country. And I hope someone who's listening there is going to come and support you in one way or another, or empower you in one way or another. So I want to thank you so much for joining us today, and keep on doing the good job. Keep on encouraging the young children. This is what we do in Talk to Connect. If we can help you make your dream come true, if we can help you change your mind, if we can help you find your dream, that's why we have these talks, because when you hear somebody's stories, it empowers you to go back and reflect and see that if Lucy can do it, anybody can do it. If I can sit here and talk to Lucy today, and I can have the confidence of saying life is good, you have the power to make your life become good also. I want to thank Naomi for joining us today. And Lucy, thank you so much. Just send us the details more. We will share it on Facebook more. And I hope we will be seeing you more in our talks to empower girls, because there's a lot of things that you talked about today that are affecting girls back home, but it's because of time we cannot talk about all of them. So today we were talking about your projects, but I know there's a lot of things that you want to empower girls, and like mentorship and helping them to come out of society, to help them to grow and become the women that they want. So let's see next time the other topics that we can talk about. But today I'm so proud to be having you here today, and see you soon. Thank you so much, Naomi.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.